The next step we're going to talk about is etching. Now, this step is optional, but it can really heighten the stone carving experience with these small animals. For example, if you have a pin or a cuticle tool or anything sharp, even a paper clip, you can draw onto the animal. So for example, let's take the fish. Now, I'm going to choose which side I like the most. I'm thinking this side will be my upside. I can draw a little eye. Just like this. And I'm going to put on some scales. Now, students tend to typically love this part because they're using skills that they've already learned how to draw, and then they can really customize and develop how they want their stone to look. So for me, I've just done these little scales on the fish. I can do some little lines on the fins. And this part is really about your own creativity and how you want your animal to look. With these darker stones, you really have the opportunity for your etching to show, because the contrast is a lot higher. So here's my little fish with the etching. Now, a butterfly, for example, is iconic for the patterns on its wings. So I'm just going to draw some little lines on the shell. Just going to draw some little lines on the wings just to really emphasize my butterfly. This step is completely optional, but it's a good extension activity. Now, if you're not happy with what you've drawn or what you've etched in, all is not lost. What you can do is you can use the hairdryer or the heat gun or anything that heats up the stone, and like I said before, it will just melt away into the scratches that you've done. So I'm just drawing some little lines on my stone just to kind of develop it a little bit more. I might draw some little lines here. Okay. And again, this is the part where your creativity really comes to life. Now, for me and the frog, I want to emphasize those little eyes that I did. So I've overdrawn the eyes a little bit. Frogs tend to have little spots, little boils, little bumps. So I'm just doing a few little circles here. Students can carve their initials. They can draw some patterns if they want to. And now, if you weren't able to do the eyes, for example, you can draw them. Anything that you feel like would have been better, anything you feel like the details are missing, you can, any details you feel like you missed, you can implement with a sharp tool. I like that. So with the bee, I etched. So for the bee, I carved out some lines on the body, but I'm just going to go over them with my etching tool. just to make it a little bit more pronounced. And then for the wings, now bee wings tend to look a little bit like leaves. So that is what I'm going to do. And now, as I said, this is an optional activity, but it's quite nice just to really let some more creativity out with your project. Now with the turtle, for example, you can spend some time to really work on the shell. So I'm going to come along and I'm going to draw some shell patterns. Again, this is an optional activity. And you can take a little bit longer than me to really perfect how you want your stone to look. So you're just gently scratching. That's all you need to do. Just a gentle scratch. So now we have the turtle, the butterfly, the bee, the fish, and the frog. They've been carved, they've been sanded, they've been waxed, and they've been etched too. So for example, I changed my mind. I decided that I really liked the way the patterns on this rock looked. And even though I do love a shell design on the turtles, I think that beautiful natural stone is just too good to hide. So I'm going to heat it up again and you'll see the wax melt back into the scratches. As you can see, the etching has disappeared. The scratches are filled with wax again, and it's just good as new. If I want, I can re-etch, or I can leave it as it is. So now we have the frog, the turtle, the fish, the bee, and the butterfly. These are our small animal series. Thank you for carving with me today. My name is Phoebe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.